Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Zen-Doodle meditation. We're going to really have a great time. It's one of my favorite meditations to help calm my body and mind. So if you're wondering and you're new to Zen-Doodle meditation, you're wondering, Christy, how can drawing be a meditation? Well, what meditation really is it is simply calming your body and your mind and allowing you to journey within yourself. And so active forms of meditation, such as drawing, dancing, drumming, it allows your body and your mind to become present in the current moment. It allows you to reduce cortisol levels and other type of chemical reactions in your body when you're in fight or flight or just plain stressed out. And this allows you to be able to focus and concentrate so that you can get into a meditative state. We're going to connect our breath and our body to the pen and the paper as we meditate and calm our body and mind and journey within ourselves and enjoy this present moment. So some of the tools you might need is any type of piece of paper. It can be a notebook paper, sketchbook paper. It can even be a sticky note or an index card. Of course, it's going to be a lot smaller. I do suggest for this one today that you have something a little bigger because we're going to draw a pumpkin and draw different shapes in different sections of our pumpkin. So another recommendation I have today, if you're just joining in, all you need is just a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper, very basic. Or if you really want to get into it, you can get a pen set that you can get at any Michael's, Hobby Lobby, even a 5 and Below, where they have different size tips that you can use in your drawings, because sometimes it's fun to draw different shapes and different thicknesses, and sometimes a thicker line helps accent or outline an area, which is fun. And you can incorporate a pencil as well. You can use a pencil for shading to give your work a little bit more depth if you get into that. Some people actually enjoy the shading part of a doodle meditation most of all. So whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you have on hand right now is perfect, and you are good to go and get started. Don't worry about your experience level with being an artist, or if you don't even think you're creative, it doesn't matter. If you can draw circles, lines, squares, anything like that, you're good to go. Basically, if you graduated kindergarten, you've got this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn my computer screen over to my piece of paper. As you get situated yourself, grabbing your pen and paper, if you want to turn on some music, you can. I'm going to keep my background noise neutral and quiet. Here we go. We got this set up. I'm going to have to draw at an angle, but I will do the best that I can. All right, go ahead and get yourself situated. Find your pen, paper, get into a comfortable seating position. And hold your pen or your pencil in your hand. And close your eyes for a second. And just feel the pen, feel the paper. Notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing deep and shallow and quick? And take a moment to slow your breath. Taking a nice deep breath in. And a nice long, slow, deep breath out. Giving yourself permission to carve out this moment in time for yourself. In this next 30 minutes, you do not have to worry about any of your cares or responsibilities of the day. Give yourself permission to put all those aside and just enjoy this present moment. Also, give yourself permission to get rid of that inner critic, that tells you things have to be perfect and that you have to be creative to be good at something like this. Tell that inner critic to take a hike. And I want you to invite your inner 4-year-old to come out and play. Think about when you were young and you picked up a paper and crayons. You didn't care about that outcome. You just cared about having fun, playing with the paper and the colors, just enjoying to see what transpired. not caring what your friend next to you was doing. You just had fun with it. And I invite you to do that today. Put away that inner critic and just have fun. Do a little dance with your pen and your paper. Enjoy how the shapes take place and how they emerge onto the page. All right, now we're going to go ahead. You can open your eyes, get your pen ready. And we're going to make our outline of our pumpkin. And if you've never made an outline of a pumpkin before, what I want you to do is start like you're kind of making a heart, only don't make a tip. Just make it rounded at the bottom. And go back up, kind of that heart shape here. Okay. And then we're going to draw just a square at the top for the stem. If you want to get a little fancy and give it a little bit of a curve, you can do that. And then next, I want you to start at about the middle of your stem and draw a line over connecting with your pumpkin. That's going to give it depth, making it look like that's the back part of the pumpkin. And now we're going to separate our pumpkin into some sections. So I want you to go ahead and start over here and just make one sliver, like a half moon on your pumpkin. And over here, do the same thing. A half moon, circle it in a little. And then right here at the where your pumpkin heart top meets, just go there and draw another curved line. And here, another curved line. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of our pumpkin. And we're going to start by making, we're going to start here in our middle part. And what we're going to do is we're going to make little ribbon shapes. So start anywhere within this middle that you want and just draw kind of like a slightly wavy line like that. And then go up top and draw another line that follows that same curve, kind of like you're making your own banner, okay? And then you can either go back in and get a thicker pen, or you can just fill in the top, but just make the top line a little bit thicker. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to continue on making these lines and allowing them to crisscross. So here I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to go behind this one. So I'll pick up my pen so that it doesn't show over top. I'm just imagining that it's going behind that other line. Drawing the echo line as a banner. Just being aware of where your hand and your the paper meets. Thickening that top line. Usually turns out better if you choose the same side of the line that you want darkened. Like I'm doing the top, you can do the bottom, but I think it's a cooler effect if you're consistent with it, whichever you choose. And now just continue to keep doing that. Keep adding little banners. And thickening the top. And now that you've got this down, just keep adding on your banners, these little lines. You can make them as short or as long as you want to. And as you're doing this, let's start to connect our breath in our body with this meditation. What I'd like you to do is, as you're drawing your line, sync your breath with what you're doing. So like here, as I'm drawing this line, I'm going to breathe in for a count of 4 and then breathe out for a count of 4. So here I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out 2, 3, 4. And again, as I draw this next line, I'm going to breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out 2, 3, 4. Again, breathing in 2, 3, 4, and breathe out 2, 3. Breath is by far the number one greatest way to control your mood, to calm your body. It's a biohack to tell your body that all is safe. And keep continuing to add on as you see fit. Don't overthink the lines. Just let your intuition guide you. Have fun with it. And if you find that you have any thoughts that come in that try to pull you back into some ruminations of the past or thinking about what you need to do later in the day, acknowledge that thought and let it know that there's a time and place for that and that you'll get back to it later. That now is a time for you to not have to worry about anything, think about anything, but just enjoy the moment, the shapes, the feel of the paper and the pen. Now, if you want to come back to this later, we're going to move on to our next shape. But you can add on more later if you want to, or you can even take a pencil and you can do some shading. Like, oh, this pencil lost its tip. But you can shade in just by going underneath the black line. Not going to show up on mine very well because my tip is broken. But yeah, you can do that. But let's move on to our next shape. In our next shape, we're going to move on. You can either go to this side or this side. It doesn't matter. And we're going to make a circle. Okay, just anywhere, doesn't matter where. And inside that circle, make a spiral like this. And continue just randomly making large circles with spirals in. This is another really great one to sync your breath. So as you make the outer circle, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out as you make this spiral inside, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. going. Being aware of where your pen starts and stops. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. What matters is you being present in this moment, being aware of what you're doing, being aware of how your body feels. You might want to take some time to relax your body. If you feel any tension in your jaw or your face, allow that tension to melt away. If you feel any tension in your hand, just notice how you're feeling, how you're holding the pen. Are you gripping it really tight? So try to loosen up a little bit. See how that may help, how that feels differently. And now as you're making these, you can also start to play around with different sizes. You can make smaller circles and spirals. Comes the part that I really enjoy. Because as this paper is filling up now, this section is getting full of larger circles. What we can start to do now is overlap. So imagine here that I'm drawing a really big circle. And now I'm drawing the spiral, not interfering with the space of the other spirals. Just imagining where that would go on. I love this effect of the overlapping spirals. Remember every once in a while to remember to check your breath and your breathing. If you find that you need to slow your breath, you can sync your breath with the shapes. Another thing that you can do, in addition to syncing your breath to calm yourself, to calm your mind, is you can also repeat a mantra. A mantra is just a word or phrase that you repeat over and over again. And one thing that I like to do as I'm making these swirlies kind of reminds me of water. And so I like to repeat a phrase. I am like water. I am cool and I am calm and I flow with the rhythm of life. So you can repeat that as you're making these swirlies. I am cool. I'm calm. And I flow with the rhythm of life. Remembering to check the tension in your hand every once in a while. Releasing that tension if need be. And if you have a smaller piece of paper and you're done, With this already, you can go back and you can add more lines or shading to the first shape that we did. Or you can go back and thicken some of the lines in these spirals, or grab a pencil and do some shading here. Finishing this up really quickly. But don't worry if you're still working on it. Don't feel like you have to go faster. You can come back and finish this on your own when we're done. Just for the sake of time, we have to keep us moving. But Zen-Doodle is also a great way to help calm yourself throughout the day. You can have a piece that you're working on and just pull it out if you're waiting on the phone or, right before bed, and just see what transpires as you go through your day. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next one on the other side. And here we're going to break up this section into triangles. Doesn't matter how many, just however many you can fit. Just do a zigzag with large triangles. And again, you can sync your breath with these lines as you're making them. And now we're going to draw an echo line inside of each triangle to make another triangle on the inside. So here, let's start here like this. And the next one, sync your breath with it. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3. And again, breathing out. Doing the same here on the other side. Don't worry if your hand is shaky and the lines aren't perfect. Go with the flow. Let that inner critic go away. Allow your inner child to come out. Now let's just draw circles on the outer parts of the triangles. There, I just noticed I'm going kind of fast. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to sync my breath with these circles. I'm going to do 1 count with each circle. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep going. Remember to go back to the mantra if you enjoyed that mantra, reminding yourself that you're cool and you're calm. And you go with the flow of life. And now draw a small triangle inside each triangle, and this time color it in. What you can do, if there's ever a point in this meditation that you're done before I am, this is another place. We're just going to finish this with the blacked in triangles, but if you want to come back and do more shapes to fill in that negative space, you can do that. You can get creative, give this piece your own flair. Maybe you might want to add dots to the circles, a little dot inside each circle. You can dress this up however you want. If you want to keep working on this throughout the day, maybe even grab some colored pens or pencils and color it in. One thing that's great about Zen-Doodle meditation is you can make your own coloring book. If you like coloring books as a way to relax, this is a great thing to do, to make your own coloring space. All right, very good. Now we're going to move on to one of the outer sides, whichever one you want to pick. And this time we're going to make some wavy lines. All right, so just make lots of little waves in any direction, okay? And then I want you to make several other lines, maybe 3, 4, doesn't matter, whatever you decide you like. And just keep making those lines. And when you've made as many lines as you like for that particular wave, we're going to make more lines, but we're going to go in a different direction. All right, so now I'm going to make lines going this way. Just alternate the directions of your wavy lines. If you want to be consistent and make the same amount of lines with each one, that's great. Not, just go with the flow, whatever feels right at the time. There's no right or wrong here. This is you having fun with the pen and the paper and enjoying this moment. Just keep filling these in, alternating directions of the waves. It's continuing to fill up the space on the paper. Changing direction as your intuition says. Remembering to check your breath, check the tension in your body. Releasing tension as needed. Enjoying the way the shapes are taking place. Noticing I'm going a little fast. Say that mantra again. These remind me of water also. I'm cool. I'm calm. I flow with the rhythm of life. Now moving on to the other side here. And now what I want you to do is make some curved lines to make different sections of this pumpkin, and make sure you touch the top and the bottom so that they're distinct. All right, so at least 3 or 4. And the reason why we want these distinct is we're going to trace an echo line and go into a maze pattern with each one. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So start anywhere in one of the shapes and do an echo line around that shape. And when you come over to where you began, instead of closing it off, keep going around like you're making a maze. Do the same thing, following the pattern. Don't close it off, but just keep going. Round and round and round. And when you do get to where you can't go anymore, just close it off then and color in that very last remaining piece. And then do the same thing on the other shapes. Follow the echo line, following that shape. Don't close it off, but keep going. Just do the same for the rest of the shapes. Mm. Watch your breath. Release any tension that you feel in your body. Allow yourself just to get lost in the shapes. All right, now once you're done with that, then we're going to move up here to the stem, and we're just going to make a series of lines, like 3 in a row. And then we're going to alternate the lines, do 3 more. Another one that's great for syncing your breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. In in and out, in, out, in, out. Now we're just going to finish in some smaller shapes with these back pieces here. One, we're just going to do a curved line, like we're making a rainbow. And then this last one, we're going to make a teardrop. You can make it anywhere you want, any pattern that you want. And then inside your teardrop, make a smaller teardrop and shade it in. And then just continue to add teardrops wherever you want, however you want. You can do it like mine, or you can make your placements different. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, whatever you feel like doing. Just keep adding teardrops until you feel like you've added enough. Slow your breath. Be aware of how fast you're going. Slow it down if you feel like you're rushing. Right, and there you have it, our pumpkin doodle meditation. That's enough for the time that we have right now. I'd love to see your finished products. If you're done now and you'd like to share and show in the comments, I'd love to see a picture of what you've done. Or if you want to keep working on this throughout the day, just come back later and share. I'd love to see the creations that you've come up with. So thank you so much for coming in today and being here with me. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.